and welcome to another D3 tutorial. This one is going to be on how to create a low poly Komodo Dragon. Or when you get to the low poly area, it kind of looks just like a lizard, you can't really tell. So what I did first is I went to Google and I found this image, or you can use any other side image. And I just clicked it, right click, save image as, and you pick a location. So open up Cinema 4D and click this tab all the way here to the right. It's a little square. Get to this multi window view here. Go to front, click options, configure, hit the back tab, these three little dots to the right, and then find that picture. Mine was under the download section, I believe. There it is. I also looked at these images, and I'm going to start my first polygon, 6-sided, I believe. I'm going to do one side for the belly. It's going to come up diagonal this way and diagonal that way. That's going to fit the legs. It's going to come up side this way diagonally on both sides, and then it's going to have a flat top, summing at 6 sides. So we're going to create a cylinder. We're going to put it on its x-axis. Go over here in the middle. And we're going to change the rotational segment to, you guessed it, 6. We should delete the Fong tag now, which if you go to the cylinder at the top, it's these two little dots. Click on them, press back on your keypad. And there's our image. We're going to rotate the cylinder by clicking the cylinder button over here, going down to coordinates. Oh, wrong one. Rotate it approximately 30 degrees. You can also do this, I'm going to backspace, by clicking this rotation tab, rotating it manually by 30 degrees. Or you can even plug it in down here. Once we rotate it that 30 degrees, we're going to turn our axis back onto 0 by clicking our axis tab over here on the left. And then, actually, we're going to make this editable by clicking C or this tab over here. And then we're going to rotate our axis -30. So it's straight up and down. We're going to click the points here because currently our cylinder has 2 caps on it that aren't connected. Let me show you what that means. This cap on here is still on my axis, is not connected to the rest of it. As in, this is connected, but this side isn't connected either. So the way we're going to fix that, we're going to hit the rectangle tool, click dots, actually go back to rectangle tool, and then click only select visible elements off. So what's that going to do? It's going to select everything that it sees. If you hit only visible, it's only going to click the only visible. Right now I'm going through the entire polygon or the entire mesh. I'm going to right click and hit optimize. So what that does is it takes these points, I'm going to go back to my live selection tool, and connects them. It takes any points that are a specific amount of distance, which you can pick if you hit the tolerance, and it connects them. So that's that. So we're going to hit the polygon selection over here on the left. We're going to highlight this side, and we're going to go to our picture, holding this blue tab over here. I want to click and drag into the middle. I'm going to use my scale tool and scale it up until it matches the width of the Komodo Dragon. I'm going to turn and select the other side, all these polygons, and I'm going to slowly model my Komodo Dragon. I'm going to scale this, and then don't forget to also rotate it. So I'm trying to match the angle of the lizard or reptile as well. I'm going to click Control and hold on my keyboard, click and drag to extrude outwards. Scale this down. So now that we're at our leg segment, we're going to use these polys as the polygon to extrude the leg outwards. So I'm going to stop right before the leg starts. Control, click and drag. I'm going to rotate that. And scale it. So that this polygon is the width of the leg. And then I'm going to continue this process for the entire tail and speed this up. Alright, so now that I have the tail, kind of looks like a rat's tail, I'm going to select the other side and do the same exact thing. I'm going to click, Control, click and drag, rotate it, continue the same process to the other side. Don't forget, when we get to the leg, you put that gap, this polygon, right where the leg is going to go. Make sure I rotate this. Alright, and then you have your Komodo Dragon body. And also for the face, Komodo Dragon's faces seem to be a little bit flatter. We can use our rectangle tool, click our top view, select parts of the head, our scale tool, and squish it by moving this green one. Click and drag. So we can squish it slightly. If you can see that. Do a compare and contrast. There, and then squish. We can also make it taller, invert it, make it longer. You can customize it that way. Let's squish it slightly. And then scale the entire thing and squish it again. Alright, for our feet, I'll start with the back leg. We're going to click this polygon, extrude out, so I'm going to click this arrow, control, drag. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to rotate this to kind of match the angle of his knee over here. See if I can do this. Then I can click and drag. Again, try to match the angle. Extrude outwards. Going to be the foot. This may be different every time. Just like that. And we can do the same with this leg in the front. Scale this a little bit smaller. Stepping outwards, I'm going to push it out. Match this angle. Put it up. Screw that one out. Make that one smaller. Again, change the angle. Screw it outwards. I'm gonna make that one flat. Now, there's two ways you can handle the other side. You can model it the same exact way that we just did, but obviously on the front. Or you can copy and then bridge all the sides, or cut your Komodo Dragon in half and then use the mirror tool to solve that. The way we're going to handle it in this tutorial is just modeling the other side manually. I'm going to extrude this outward, make it smaller. I'm going to put this foot back. Since it looks like he's stepping forward with this side, I'm going to assume the opposite side is in reverse. Change this angle. May not be the prettiest looking leg, but you can adjust it at will. I'm going to raise it. And adjust it right here. And then do this side. Actually, that one. Yep. Extrude it out, make it smaller, and do the same exact thing. And then stop. Then right here is your Komodo Dragon. Low poly. I'm going to add to this tutorial by creating a plane. I'll lower the plane to match the feet. Good enough. I'm going to add a deformer displacer to our cylinder. Make this a child of by clicking and dragging to the cylinder. Going to click shading, shader, noise. And then what this does, click object, and then we can pick the height, is deform our polygon. As you can see that in the live viewport. Just like that. That's a little bit too much. We're gonna go back to 10, the default. Pick our noise. I'm going to pick a random seed that's not the default. There we go. How to color this is simple. Just double click this area down here, double click the material. I tend to use luminance every now and then. Pick a Komodo Dragon green. A little desaturation. Going to make this extremely bright. That's okay for now. You can also add a gradient or a Fresnel. Let's do a gradient. Pick a Komodo Dragon green, and then a slightly darker Komodo Dragon green. You can add a reflectance. Do a basic Beckman, no specular. A little bit of roughness. like that. I'm going to simply add a sky, add a random image onto the sky. Let's pick this galaxy right here. I'm going to click and drag this to the sky. So now our sky is this galaxy that I picked. I am going to right click the sky, click compositing, and then scene by camera off. I am also going to click and drag this texture onto the plane. Click frontal. Nope. Click flat. That's neither right. I think frontal was it. It should change. Yes. We can add a fake softbox by right clicking, double clicking this material, get rid of color, get rid of reflectance, and add luminance. We can add let's do a sphere. Let's make that larger. Drop that on. Let's make this a little bit yellow. Oop. Good enough. We can raise this up. So what we did there is we added a sky for his reflective material to have something to bounce off of. We're adding a light, as you can see there. I'm going to push this forward. And then we also added a floor, which I'm going to make bigger. Which I'm also going to create a compositing tag, not seen by camera. It should cast a shadow on this plane. I'm going to make a camera. We can make this in between a telephoto and a wide angle at, let's do 55mm. And I'm going to click our cylinder and pick a interesting angle. Pretend that works. Go to our render settings, edit render settings, go to physical, and then hit global illumination. We go back to this material, illumination area G light, because we want it to be an area light, and go to fixed. And there's an image of your Komodo Dragon. Really low poly. It looks cool. We're not getting a shadow on here. Let's do seen by camera. That's interesting. I kind of like it without. We can add a different material for this bottom. Take off this scene by camera. We can add making this tutorial a lot longer than it should be, a landscape. Flatten this landscape. Let's do like 10. Make this a little bit taller. I'm gonna change the segments to like 20 by 20. Take off the Fong because low poly stuff doesn't have a Fong. I'll make it larger. Like that. I'm going to pick a random seed by clicking this and dragging it. I just happen to land on 415. And I'm going to raise our landscape above line so I can see it. I'm going to raise the Komodo Dragon up by clicking this model tool. Drop it down on the material, move it forward. May change our reflections. Go to our multi-view. Just going to check if our Komodo Dragon is touching our landscape. Should be fine. I'm going to copy and paste this landscape. Pick another random seed. Drag it all the way up. Not all the way. I'm going to go back and then move this landscape for the background. And then do another one over here. Change that to another random seed. Then copy and paste. Make this really long. Another random seed, good enough. Let's go back to our Komodo Dragon. We just added a landscape. Let's turn him like that. Move our camera angle slightly over here. You can add a cactus or something. Other low poly. You can copy and paste this lizard. You can put them on the rock. You can add some trees. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to copy and paste this material. I'm going to change the luminance channel. Do some brown color. That might be what Komodo dragons live on. I have no idea. I'm going to throw this texture on all the mountains and render this out. And there is our really colorful Komodo dragon in low poly with some extremely reflective non-sandy materials in the background. And thanks for watching. You can come check out some more low poly materials in the future. I plan on doing an entire low poly scene, so stay tuned. Again, thanks for watching.